Hello, welcome to another Yoga with Teens Yoga Bite. So today we're going to have a look at Baddha Konasana, the preparatory and the slightly more advanced poses along the way. This pose is a hip opener. It can be used in pretty much all variations of yoga, including yin yoga. And yeah, it works on opening those hips, freeing up the lower back, and on the forward fold variations it also stretches the sides of the lower back as well and opens up the psoas muscles. So let's get started. You're going to start and you're going to bring your feet together so that the soles of the feet are touching, and you're just going to bring them in so that they're about a foot's distance from the groin, and then just taking hold of the feet, keeping the back nice and straight. So take hold of the feet and then pull back up. So the preparatory pose is called butterfly, and you're just flapping your legs like a butterfly, so up and down, just gently, and this just warms up the hip area, the lumbar spine, just release tension. So this is a good one if you've got any tension in that lower back. Some of you will be quite flexible and your knees will be coming straight down to the ground. Some of you won't be quite as flexible and the knees won't be making it all the way down to the ground. So you can do this warm up for up to 3 minutes, depending on how you feel, especially if you are using it just to release tension. It's quite nice. This also tones the glutes, as well as warming up those hips, releasing the lower back area. And then Baddha Konasana itself, so taking hold of the feet, inhaling up, and you're going to exhale, and you're exhaling the knees out to the sides. So you can put gentle pressure, taking hold of the ankles, putting gentle pressure on the knees, but only gentle. You're not forcing them down, you're helping them down. Again, those of you that are more flexible might find that your knees are coming all the way to the ground without any assistance whatsoever. Some of you might find that your knees are up here. What you're looking for is that stretch. You want to feel that your body is working, but you don't want to be excessively forcing it. So you're just taking it to the point where you can feel the stretch and where you start to feel tension. And you might notice that your glutes are tightening to pull those knees down, so just make sure you're relaxing that. So then we can move into a forward fold. So inhaling, take the arms up. Exhaling, you're just going to fold over the feet. So for this one, this is actually more of a yin pose, which is often used in yin yoga. So you can just allow your back spine to round and just relax into it. You're allowing gravity to do the work here, pulling those knees out and down. You're not forcing anything. Your elbows are away from the knees, just resting gently against the shins and breathing into it. So to start with, you might find you can't hold this pose for very long, and for 30 seconds to a minute, but eventually you might be able to take it out to the 5 minutes for the yin yoga variation. And just breathing into the hips and making sure you relax in all the muscles. And you should really feel this in the hip region. That's where the greatest stretch should be for this particular pose. And you might also feel a stretch up that lower lumbar spine region, releasing those muscles. Inhaling to come up. You can also do that as a yang pose, where you do keep your back nice and straight and you walk your hands up in front. For the yang pose, you really want your knees to be closer to the ground before you start folding forwards, but you can still do it. You just won't come down quite so far, and you'll just reach forwards with your hands. Make sure if you're doing it, you are relaxing the neck and looking down. If you're looking up, you're going to create tension in the upper shoulders, in the neck area. So make sure that even though you're keeping your spine nice and straight, you are looking down at the same time. As a yang yoga pose, you will actively be working your knees towards the ground as well. Inhaling up. And then the next variation for an even greater stretch, once you can get your knees to the floor in this position, is to actually bring the feet slightly further in and turn the soles upwards. So you're going to actively turn the feet upwards, and if you try doing this even just sitting here, you can feel that extra stretch in those inner hip areas. If you are able to take the knees down to the ground in the other pose, you can now fold forward in this pose. If you try and do it before you could take your knees down, you'll find you can't get very far at all. And for this one, you might also want to use your elbows to keep the knees down, because the knees will try to rise just due to the positioning of the feet. And then once you're finished, just bringing the feet together, and you just want to jiggle the legs a little bit, release those hips out, especially these inner hip areas. You might want to windshield wiper your legs a little bit, just releasing those hips. And that is Baddha Konasana pose, working to open those hips. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed your practice. Namaste.